In this video, we are going to expose the taking the knee gesture of the Black Lives Matter movement and show that it is a Masonic gesture and it comes from the ancient world, and it is influenced by the religion of Mithras of the ancient world, which was practiced by the elite of Rome and then was taken up as a symbol of Freemasonry during the French Revolution. Now, the origin of this taking the knee is supposed to come from Colin Kaepernick, who's an American football player, and he first did it in 2016. Now we'll see that this gesture actually goes a long way back in time, and it was first created by Freemasons, and that it's likely that the whole movement is engineered by Freemasons, and that Colin Kaepernick is probably a Freemason himself. So we have Colin Kaepernick, he does strange 666 gestures, and the taking the knee first came to prominence through the potter Josiah Wedgewood around 1790. He made a medallion where he portrayed a black slave kneeling down, and he supported the emancipation movement of slavery. Now, Josiah Wedgewood was a very high-level Freemason, and it's likely that there was Freemasons for the slave trade and against the slave trade. Now, the main reason why the slave trade ended was because it was uneconomical. So with the production of machines, and you had cheap labour from places like India, it no longer became economical to have the slave trade. And so that's one of the main reasons why that's one of the two main reasons why they ended it, as well as that people were disagreeing with it. Now watch this clip.
To the port of Liverpool. Cotton, linen, wool, coal, and of course earthenwares from Britain went out, and all manner of exotic goods from the Far East and the New West came in. Josiah was a merchant, but one with the belief that people mattered more than profit. The sight of slaves sickened him. His Unitarian convictions compelled him to act. The fourth of my Wedgewood landmarks isn't a pot. It's a ceramic masterstroke.
So he makes this ceramic medal where he has a slave kneeling, and that is where the gesture comes from. But we'll by observing this, we'll find that the gesture actually goes further back in time to the ancient world.
Of marketing genius, designed to change attitudes by stealth. It's Wedgewood, the tastemaker and moral crusader. Wedgewood wasn't just a man with a passion for making things and for selling things. He was also consumed with a passion for social justice. Am I not a man and a brother?
The slave trade and slavery itself remains a powerful economic interest, because obviously what you've got is very low cost controlled labour, and that is producing goods like sugar, in which there's therefore a high profit margin to the owners and the shippers. And that is significant for British industrialisation. While Wedgewood would have irritated some people by his stance, there would have been other people that would have thought, absolutely, this is the right approach to take.
He actually made thousands of these much smaller medallions.
That's wonderful, Evan.
Which he sent to people like Benjamin Franklin for free distribution to anybody who would support the cause. And you could argue that they're the very earliest campaigning medal.
Did he give them away free in England?
Absolutely.
So there you go. Taking the knee was actually designed by Josiah Wedgewood, and Josiah Wedgewood got his design from another artist called, so there you see the medal, and this is where it's inspired from, this kneeling figure of the Phrygian slave. And here the Phrygian slave is portrayed as Ganymede, the young boy who was the lover of Zeus. Okay, but there we have it. Okay, so the kneeling posture and the comes from the slave of ancient mythology of Phrygia, with the Phrygian cap, which belonged to the religion of Mithras. You can see how there's Mithras slaying the bull, and so you can see how it relates to very different periods, including the Bible, of the three magi wearing the Phrygian cap. The red cap is the symbol of the sun. You can see that in the French Revolution and in the American Revolution they all wore Phrygian caps. Okay, and so Josiah Wedgewood based it on this drawing here by John Flaxman of a kneeling slave with the Phrygian cap, and then Josiah Wedgewood based his slave on this pose. So it goes back to the ancient world and the cult of Mithras with the cap, which is worshipped by the Freemasons. Now Mithras was a sun god. He represented the sun. Okay, and he's always depicted sacrificing the bull. Now the Mithras was a secret society which was worshipped by the Roman elite, and the Roman elite worshipped a god called Sol Invictus, so the unconquerable sun, and Mithras was its symbol. And the rituals of Mithras, which was a secret society, are nearly identical to Freemasonry, and there was also a worship of astrology, just like Freemasonry. So you here have Apollo and Artemis, the sun and the moon. You have the serpent. The serpent is connected with Mithras, as well as the other signs of the zodiac. And Josiah Wedgewood tried to replicate this ancient pot, which is called the Portland vase, which has a ritual of Mithras depicted on it. And here we have the ritual, and you have the Baphomet here. You have Ariadne with the serpent, very similar to Adam and Eve. And you can see it's some kind of strange occult ritual where you have the Baphomet as the central figure. And in Mithras, the religion of Mithras, like the occult, good and evil were both aspects of the same thing, so they weren't seen as negative aspects. So that's typical of the occult. And you can see here how it relates to the Baphomet, which has the sun and the moon symbolism, the up and down, the Kundalini, which is also represented in the god Mithras. So it's a symbol of enlightenment, and Mithras is also depicted as being transgender. And you have the Statue of Liberty, which is a symbol of Mithras, who also used to hold a torch. And so you can see that it's a Luciferian symbol about enlightenment and the light bearer. And so Colin Kaepernick, he represents Nike and is part of the Nike campaign for protests. And of course, Nike is associated with the god Mithras because Nike slayed the bull, and so did Mithras. And as I said, Mithras was this kind of figure which embraced lots of different aspects, but it was mainly a sun god, and it's portrayed slaying the bull, and it was also known as being transgender, and it's related to Nike. As we can see in this book, they both slayed the bull. So what I hope to have shown in this video is how this taking the knee gesture is actually Masonic and relates to the ancient world and to the mysterious mystery cult of Mithras, who is also depicted kneeling and was a main figure in the French Revolution. Okay, thank you.